In this video, what I'm going to be doing is explaining to you the Demon Hunter build I have found and I have liked the best. Now, I've been playing Demon Hunter just about a week now. I think it's about 5 days, and I am actually really enjoying it. I think it's my second or third most favorite class at the moment. Now, I found a build that I like above all the others, so I'm going to go ahead and break down that build for you today. And first, let me just give you a quick example of what it actually looks like when we're clearing packs right here. It's fairly good damage, consistent damage. You do have some immunity frames to help you avoid things like that AoE right there, and then you have a good wide spread of damage as well as your basic attacks, good damage, and you have single target damage for the boss as well. So let's go ahead and break down all of it for you. Now for skills, this is going to be relying on the 4 primary abilities that we as a Demon Hunter are going to be using. The crossbow shot, which is going to allow you to move while attacking. That way you can constantly reposition like you saw I was doing earlier. This is going to pair with the offhand called the Hungerer, which will allow that crossbow shot to actually pierce through enemies and therefore deal additional damage to the people behind them. So your basic attack isn't just hitting whatever the meat bag is in front. This also helps when you have people that have like damage immunity, shields, etc. You can pierce through them and still do damage to the people behind them. The ultimate's quite good. It's basically a multi-shot that repeats over and over again. Speaking of multi-shot, we're also going to be using multi-shot because what it's going to actually do is give us a chance to apply burn. It's going to do an AoE, applying a good amount of damage. It's one of our hardest hitting moves in the game, as well as it's going to apply a burn over time. Okay, this burn will give us some good DPS and also pairs with things that increase damage over time abilities like the Gray Set, but we won't be using that today for the purposes of this video. Now, we're also going to be using the multi-shot damage increase from the helmet just to get some additional damage. You don't have to use this helmet, but it is the one I'm using for this build. The Rain of Vengeance is what I'm using as well. This is very commonly replaced with the Rain of Vengeance shoulders that make it where you shoot the dogs out. I actually like no modifier in the Rain of Vengeance, just standard AoE from the ceiling Rain of Vengeance. As you can see, it does 23,000 damage base, so that is actually one of the higher amounts of damage we're going to be dealing. We're also going to be using Vengeance. Vengeance is what is basically going to help modify our basic attacks and allow us to do consistent piercing damage off the basic. This is how we're going to allow ourselves to, just by constantly spamming basic attacks with crossbow shot, Vengeance, etc., to be able to pierce through mobs and continue to have that good challenge rift damage where we're not really having to stop to do anything. We can just kind of continue the move. We pair this with Vengeance. It also procs as a buff, so anything that has increased buff duration is going to increase the time of Vengeance as well. Now for the modifiers for this, I use the pants to make it where it shoots a rocket out as well. I like these pants personally. There are different pants you can use. And then the chest plate I would recommend is also going to be the chest plate that would decrease the cooldown of Vengeance. Now I haven't pulled this chest plate yet. Unfortunately, it's the one that I'm still waiting on, but I'll show you what that chest plate would be here as I walk down to the essence transfer. And then there's one other skill we're going to use, which is Daring Swing, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. So what you actually want to use here is you would want to use this one right here, the Vengeance cooldown, decrease the Heart of Vengeance. Now, for the Daring Swing, and these are the shoulders with the dogs that people use for PvP, but for the shoulders, I actually use these one, the Chill Wrath Manto, that now fires ice arrows at the ground, forming an icy path that continually damages and kills enemies. This is because I use this to reposition, so when there's mobs grouping up, I jump through them and then kind of get them grouped on together because of the slow, and it makes it easier to pierce them with things like the Vengeance damage, etc. Okay, so that is my basic when it comes to the legendary items. Unfortunately, once I get a different chest plate, I'll be replacing this one, but for now I have 5 out of the 6 pieces. Now when it comes to set items, it's very simple. We're going to want a 4-piece of the Vithus. That's because increases the target's attack speed by 30% each time you use a skill to grant a beneficial effect to yourself or a party member. This is Vengeance. Again, will proc the buff effects, and it also increases the duration of beneficial effects on the 2-piece, so we're increasing Vengeance, which again is a huge chunk of our damage. This leaves us with a 2-piece opportunity, of which we're going to be using Shao Bass to increase our primary attack damage by 15% once we have those 2-piece, and that is going to give us the most consistent damage using Vengeance plus the piercing of Hungerer plus the crossbow shot. That's pretty much the best combo we're going to get for that. When it comes to charms, it's really hard to pick what you want, but you're looking for something that gives you a basic attack damage from the crossbow shot. You're going to be looking for Vengeance, Daring Swing, Rain of Vengeance, and multi-shot essentially. Now for Paragon, I actually end up using an absolute maximum damage build. This is 57 points into Vanquisher. This is going to give you all 25 points of armor penetration. And I'm going to move my camera here so you can see this a little better. It's also going to give you your 25 points in damage and then 5 points in damage here. You can also activate this at any time to get these bonuses as well, which will help you in things like challenge rifts. This also gives us the opportunity to put 38 points in the Treasure Hunter, so that way we can get the armor pen in damage from here while maintaining the bonuses for the gold and the bonus you see the bonus gold mostly. I mean, we do get the bonus experience. That's not really why I'm doing it. Gold is mostly why I'm doing it as well. You can take the this portion of it if you want the treasure find, but I don't want to have to take the resistance personally. Then 63 points in Gladiator. This is going to allow you to have armor penetration, your damage, and then also your perks like Cheat Death and the really mandatory ones like Uncontrollable for PvP, so you're not slacking in PvP. I've got 25 points so far in Soldier. I'm going to, this is where you come after you've got everything else maxed out. You're going to go here and you're going to go all the way through the armor penetration. This gives you more armor pen and damage, and then 42 points in Mastermind for the armor penetration and the damage here as well. It's a little bit more of a complicated build, but this actually ends up min-maxing you the most damage possible. For gems, we're looking for things to increase your basic attack damage, so things like Power and Command will work quite well. Bloody Reach will work. We're looking for basic attack speed as well, so this 1-star gem will work. Everlasting will work. Berserker's Eye will work. There's a few different, probably Berserker's Eye is one of the better ones, but Bloody Reach, Berserker's Eye, the 1-star gem here if you can't get 2-star or above, and then the Power and Command. These are all decent options just to start. There are 5-star gems you can use as well, but as we normally know, 5-star gems are just something that you get for the resonance more than anything, and it's hard to, I don't want to go through and recommend 5-star gems because I feel like it's impossible to actually get these, but some ones to kind of avoid is Chip of the Stone Flesh isn't that great for this because you don't really get much CC with this until we have that new dash set, whereas things like Blood-Soaked Jade are amazing, things that give you a bonus just straight up damage to yourself as well as movement speed because your basic attack allows you to move while attacking, so having more movement speed is fantastic. Bottled Hope triggers off of buffs, which is Vengeance, and once again gives you movement speed and damage, so if we have all of these buff duration increases, etc., with the Vithus and the Bottled Hope and all that, those are quite good gems to use as well. Obviously, Seeping Bow and the other ones are S tier, but just a recommendation. Now, this is Challenge Rift 155. I do not expect to be able to beat this. This is 550 combat rating higher. I'm just using this as an example for like maneuvering, and you can kind of see how to play it. What I essentially do is I try to grab as many people as I can together. I try to group them together, and then I'm going to be using my combos like the daring swing here to kind of dash back through them, get them where they're all coming in the same direction. That way I can shoot through them with the piercing damage. And this is essentially kind of how I play. They go back and forth here. You can see I try to get them where they're a little bit more grouped together. There we go. And then I kind of daring swing through them like that so I can get some more damage on it. Oh, I'm going to get myself stuck in a corner a little bit here. And you really don't want to play against range mobs as much as possible in Challenge Rifts, but just for the sake of the video here, you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. The daring swings do actually allow you to be invulnerable, and you do have a good amount of damage over time with things like the Rain of Vengeance, the Burning, etc. So it's not just relying upon your basic attacks, but it does allow you to sort of avoid some of the fight by burning them over time, etc. So anyway, 550 combat rating buff is going to be pretty hard to do. This is the one I'm stuck on so far, but you get the idea. In overworld farming, it's actually pretty clean and easy because you have so many dots and the multi-shot's like an instantaneous thing. You can just sort of multi-shot behind you, know that the burn in himself is going to finish off most of them, and then you can kind of just continue the walk ahead. You can use Daring Swing to go through the mobs and then shoot behind you in order to combo them out as well. But the best thing about this is really the fact that the Hungerer pierces through people, allows you to continue the move with the basic shot. You're not really delaying much time. You're not really lagging a bunch. And if you get stuck in the mobs, kind of like I did just there, you can always just Daring Swing out and then let the damage over time kill them. If you're asking me my personal opinion, I think Demon Hunter is a solid like 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10. I like Demon Hunter better than Wizard. I still like Necromancer better, but Demon Hunter is actually very solid hero, very enjoyable and very strong. So I get a thumb up for Demon Hunter in my own personal opinion. Love you all. Consider liking the video or subscribing if you're new. See you on the next one.